Hi, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching and listening to another edition of Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. I'm your FM host, Mike Morales, here in sunny Southern California with no aftershocks. That gentleman over there is,
Your FM co-host, Skip Falconer in Los Angeles, California.
and no aftershocks on his side either.
No aftershocks on this
No,
side.
no broken, no bursting pipes, nothing like that.
No,
No,
no bursted bubbles. No bursted.
no bursting, no. And we didn't lose any tequila, which is a great thing.
This,
We just had an
this,
earthquake, folks, well, about an hour before we went on camera, and Pasadena got slammed apparently. So the city hall is leaking water from the top floor. That should be interesting. But anyway, this is Black Sheep Extra Añejo.
the
If
extra.
if you have been watching all our reviews so far, we have flipped. The quality is old school quality. The pricing is fair considering what, as we go through the tasting, we'll give you some of the ins and outs if you have not watched the entire all the expression, the entire line. Maybe you're just an extra añejo guy. Cool, just watch that. Though even it looks different from the original bottles too. It doesn't. This bottle's got a very tricky neck, a neck support or neck holder, but this bottle here, I love the look on this bottle. I gotta
Yeah,
tell
it's beautiful. Brand of promise for packaging.
you, yeah, if we gave awards for that, we would, but we don't. So,
Okay.
but that's all right. But it's an extra añejo, single estate. We do know the distillery it comes from. Why don't you mention the distillery number while we're at it?
It's 1547. Um,
1547.
in Integradoro San Augustine.
Yes,
Agustin.
Agustin, and
Agustin.
it's the same distillery as Alien. Sedano comes out of there now. Casa Amor, which we haven't done the tasting yet, but Alex and I can't wait to get into that.
Mm.
Um, Fubar used to come out of there, and Tequila David Reyes, which we are familiar with. So it's only like less than 20 brands that come out of there, and it is a co-op distillery, so it's owned by a lot of agave farmers.
Mm.
The quality is there. If Sedano, who is the part owner of Tromba as well, he's a stakeholder in Tromba and their master distiller. Uh, if he's using that distillery, that speaks volumes to me. So we broke the seal open on this extra añejo. Beautiful packaging. I'm gonna pour mine in a glass that was sent to us. It's kind of a knockoff Riedel. This glass was sent to us by another brand. I'm not going to mention them because it was just a Blanco, but I want to try it with other tequilas. It's not. I normally will use either another Glencairn or I will use a Bermioli, but I'm not sure about how good this is. And again, we're giving it the benefit of the doubt. Everything checks out. Everything is good. But this one, for some people, this is the acid test. And Skip is going to use a,
Glencairn.
there you go. So we're going to pour some in a glass. I'm going to pour some in this makeshift Riedel, for lack of another term. It's not even a Chinese knockoff. It's just a style of, you know, it was designed, I believe the glass was designed for a Blanco and may have been designed just for this particular tequila. So I thought I'd give it a shot and see what it would be like with an extra añejo. So I'm doing a little experimentation while we're going through this brand. Uh, Beautiful color. Now
Yeah.
it's got some red highlights in there. You notice that?
Yeah. Still, it's very clear.
I like it. It's got like brassy notes.
Yeah.
It's like a strawberry blonde.
Now they say this is rested 7 years.
What?
7 years it's rested now.
In one single barrel?
And what kind of barrel? No information.
Well, it's not uncommon that we don't get information. A lot of times, folks, all we have is our mouth to go with.
And I tried looking online to find out if there was any barrel information, and I found none. But it
Well,
is
so far, the Repo and the Añejo are rested in Tennessee whiskey barrels, so we know that.
Tennessee whiskey
Now, these legs and tears are taking forever to show up.
forever. But when they start rolling,
Wow, here they come.
it's like, how you say that? They're stringy like Netflix.
Yep. Oh, and they're thick too. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so we're expecting a very, very good body and structure on your palate.
On your palate, yes.
The Añejo had really, in fact, the Reposado, I was surprised how much body and structure the Reposado had for as light as the color as it looked. And we estimated that it was aged maybe somewhere close to 6 months in the
Yeah.
barrel.
Yeah.
In a used barrel, because the colors were not, the Reposado and the Añejo were very much similar in color. So the barrels must have been pretty beat up or used. And that makes sense to me because of the quality of the Blanco. The Blanco had, in fact, tell people what the Blanco is, how they process that Blanco.
Well, the fermentation process is with fibers and open air wooden vats. And it's distilled in copper pots that are handmade.
So they went old school with that Blanco.
Yeah.
So when you have a Blanco that good and you're dealing with a distillery that is owned by agave growers, you're going to be looking for beat up barrels because you want that agave to shine. And they're using old agave too, weren't they?
7 to 10 years, yeah.
I believe 7. I mean, it's a common story now, and it's hard to sometimes it's hard to swallow that kind of story. But with a small distillery and knowing back engineering, knowing where the distillery is and who came out of there and what brands are being made there now, I buy it.
Hmm.
I would say the agave is probably, and knowing one of the former brand owners that came out of there, he wouldn't sell anything that was below 5 years for his agave. So I buy it. I buy 7. I would say 6 to 7 years. Okay, what notes are you getting on your nose?
I'm getting some honey. There's a caramel.
Yeah, smells very similar to what we got in the Reposado.
Yeah. 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 It's going back. It doesn't even smell like the Añejo,
Now, and I'm asking because
except for the honey.
Skip has got what I would consider the proper glassware to sip añejos and extra añejos. Are the Glencairns. Glencairns are extremely versatile, great for blancos as well. I'm not too sure about this glass. That's why I'm asking him a lot of questions because
There's
what I'm
there's there's a fruitiness to this.
well, we got fruit on the añejo. You got the stone fruit, you got apricots, you
Yeah.
got plums.
It's not apricots.
I don't know if it's this glass, could be the glass, but the notes that I got on the añejo are not as bright. They're almost they're a bit more muted, a little bit more tuned down
On that glass.
on this glass. What are you
Yeah.
getting?
Yeah. No. It's You know, the barrel is coming through. There's a nice little spicy, sort of a baker's spice.
Yeah, we're getting deeper spice notes, and it's more like an allspice. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
What do you
And
say?
again, all of these, for me, there is some alcohol. It's not overpowering, but there's and now that fruit is turning more into a sort of a vanilla.
Okay, I don't trust this glass, but I will take a sip out of it. I'm going to take this sample. I'm going to pull out. I have one more Glencairn, not Glencairn. I have one more Jarrito, and I'm going to pour it in that Jarrito just to compare and contrast, because I'm not really convinced with this glassware. Let's dive in. Let's see what we got on the flavor. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, first pass, much more pronounced uh, leather and tobacco.
Yes. Yeah.
The
And,
flavor is good, so that's why
and
I'm not convinced about the glass working for nosing. Okay,
the pepper is back.
yeah,
The pepper
it's intense too. The pepper's intense.
yes. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I get that. I get the leather. I get the tobacco.
All on the back end of your palate. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for, because 7 years in a barrel.
Yeah.
They're not talking about multiple barrels. They're not talking about blending. Um, we don't know.
And the
Uh,
sweetness with the pepper, that's a nice blend up front with that pepper and that sweetness.
yeah, yeah.
And and then in the back with the leather and the tobacco, this is a nice. Oh,
it, it's
it's
finishing dry. It's a dry finish,
yeah.
and that's not a bad thing. I'm telling you, after dinner in a cognac snifter, maybe warmed up a little bit. I wouldn't be opposed to holding it from the bowl and or warming it up a little bit like you would a cognac, and let some of those wood notes come through.
Oh,
Uh,
you know what I'm getting now? Prunes.
So I was going to ask you, did the stone fruit turn into dry fruit? Are you getting
Prunes.
cherries? Are you getting dates? What are you getting? But if you're getting prunes, I'm good with that too.
Prunes.
That's interesting. You're getting we got some deep flavor notes that didn't lean that normally, excuse me, we normally get those deeper notes from bourbon barrels, not whiskey barrels. That's why I'm really surprised.
Yeah. There is prunes, and you know the leather that I got on the palate.
Yeah.
I'm getting that on the center
Oh, okay. Well, I
down at
told you that for me, to
down at the bottom of the glass.
for me, once it was started, once it evolved into Glencairn, when I had that, was it my second pass, I think, and I held it, it was very buttery, and the finish was surprisingly long for me. I wasn't getting that with the Reposado. Yeah, now you can smell it. You can smell the leather and you can smell the tobacco. It's much more pronounced now that it's
Yeah,
opened up a little bit in this glass.
yeah,
This is
Yeah,
not the greatest glass in the world. I'll tell you that right now. Not.
yeah. And I just opened this up, and it's been here, a couple days, but a couple weeks.
It's way more pronounced. It's people will call it smoke. It's not smoke. It's tobacco and it's leather mixed together. So it's kind of a deeper char.
Yeah,
Very pleasant. You know,
and then
the sweetness has now turned into nothing but barrel.
yeah, yeah.
Because on the nose, as soon as you opened it, all those sweet notes came out. You know, all those the sweet whiskey notes were out on there. But now that it's opening up, it's blooming, it's evolving in your glass. You're getting, you're right. It's in the center of the glass. It's right there in the middle.
Hmm.
Yeah, this glass is reacting. It's behaving a lot like Riedel will. Riedel tends to mute some of the note the aroma notes. Uh,
Mm.
not as well as a jarrito will give you those aroma notes right away. You got to dig for them in a Riedel, and this is behaving the same way. Now it's not so sweet on the nose. Now I'm getting more of the deeper the barrel notes, the tobacco. I, I'm gonna go one more time here because I want to get those prunes or plums or dried something. There's got to be some dried
Yeah,
fruit.
there is. It's prunes. It's prunes for me.
Hmm. Mm, 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 mm. You
And
know what?
that spice up front is really nice.
I'm getting
The
again
sweet.
tobacco, leather on the back end, from the middle to the back end, cloves. Like you said, on the nose, the sweetness turned into like an allspice. And you know what? It's dried figs.
Oh yeah.
It's dried figs. And it's not the kind of figs. I love the chopped figs that you get at the store because they probably glaze them with sugar and you get them from like the desert. But
Oh
these are
yeah.
these are these are fresh figs. These
Yeah.
aren't the kind that are powdered sugar. So these are like they were fresh. They were dried up. The last time I saw fresh figs, when I took our trip to Israel, they had a gift pack uh, in every room in every suite, and it was a gift pack of chocolate and dried fruit, which was dried figs. That's what this is. It's dried figs. You're right. It's borderline. It's almost borderline prunes, but it ain't pruny. It's
Yeah.
figs.
It's a little pruny for me, but now I'm getting some chocolate.
It's evolving. It's evolving in the glass, and the leather and the tobacco is doing like bitter chocolate now.
Yeah.
It's on the back end, right?
Yeah.
Back of the palate. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
This is beautiful also, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that went into this. And yeah, it's bold enough for a cigar. And I wouldn't even pair it with a dessert. You're talking about a nightcap.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Just alone. Just
Yeah.
stay with this. Stay with this alone. Don't do anything with this, but just sit it here and let it open up.
Yeah. And do yourself a favor, get the proper glass. This is not it. Um, but yeah, Jarrito or a Glencairn.
And like you say,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
The initial, it's just
you can use
you
this.
can use it. If you spill some on yourself, you're not going to be kicked out or anything. It's just going to
No,
it's just going to mix in with your pheromones and you'll have to fight
they,
them off with this
they're just gonna say, "Oh, what is that you're wearing?"
uh, it's called Black Sheep. I bet,
Man,
I bet, I
now
bet,
I'm get-
I bet
now I'm
Karma
get-
Ray. I'm sorry, we have to go. I don't want to refer to him as this old nickname, Karma Ray, but Ray McBride. If he ever spills any of this stuff, it ain't gonna hurt him at all. Wow,
yeah,
that's deep. Those
yeah,
barrel notes are deep, deep, deep.
they are.
It must really be good because this glass is not the greatest glass in the world for this, but they're shining right through. But it really does require it to evolve in your glass. If you're using a Riedel for this particular brand, I would say let it air out. Just let it evolve before you start making it a determination because it's going to take a while.
Yeah, no. Use the Glencairn.
Mm.
Mm,
Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Brand of Promise nominee, extra
hmm
category.
hmm
7 years? That's
7 years,
7 years and probably the same whiskey barrels.
289.99 to 309.99 at Total Wine.
You know what? Worth every penny. We've had tequilas. Alex and I had one, the number one tequila that was like a 12-year-old.
Mm.
You know, and I will say this, because of the way the Blanco, they started with the Blanco. I was looking for a little bit of those agave notes. They're still there.
They're still there, yeah.
They're not being overpowered by the barrels. I will say that it's much more balanced than I thought it would be.
Mm.
I'm surprised. I had no idea it was a 7 year. Does it even say that on the bottle? What does it say?
Uh, no.
Single estate, it's 80 proof.
Extra Añejo, blah, blah, blah. Nope.
No, 1547. Great distillery.
7, yep.
Wow.
Yeah. That's another distillery, man. You gotta watch out for, man, because
Well, you folks in Vegas, you folks in Las Vegas watching us or in Nevada, and you've had Alien, you know what I'm talking about. It's got a really getchy bottle, but the juice inside has always been stellar.
mm,
And their bottle has a little bit of that sheen that they spray on it. Uh,
hmm
that's what Alien does. It's got that weird, it looks like an alien head. And go ahead, just Google it. But it's got that sheen to it on purpose, so it really jumps out at you. But the juice is really good. I'm impressed.
yeah,
Hell of a brand. The pricing pretty comparable to whatever some of the better extra añejos out there.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
Go get it. But that's our take. Brand of Promise nominee. Beautiful extra añejo. Ray, thanks for making us wait 2 years, but you know it's worth it was worth all those years, you know.
Ray McBride.
Dude, look him up. His hangout the southeastern United States. If you're in Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, probably Louisiana. Just if you see this, go get it. Just go get it.
Oh,
In fact, if you have it, tell us what you're doing with it. Leave us a note, leave us a comment, follow us on all of our Instagram, our social media, Facebook, Twitter. We're still even on Pinterest. I'm not sure why. You can follow me personally on Timber Elk, or just follow Tequila Aficionado on Instagram. You can follow Skip also. Skip is on yours is what, Skip Falconer?
Sensei 2SK
Yeah, Sensei 2SK.
at
But
M.com.
that's our take, on Black Sheep Extra Añejo. Uh, but again, folks, whatever you're doing, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.